Chapter 79 Questioning. Similar to grabbing hold of a little chick, the huge giant carried the blue-robed man with a single hand and rapidly walked out of the forest. Its body, covered with blood stains coupled with the sight of its green robes, was similar to the brilliance of a blossoming peach flower. Li Feiyu sucked in a breath of cold air. As the huge giant walked in front of the two, it tossed the blue-robed man onto the ground. Shortly after, Li Feiyu could smell an acrid smell of blood wafting towards him. Li Feiyu's expression underwent a tremendous change as he unconsciously stepped backwards, making a warding gesture with his hands. The huge giant did not concern itself with Li Feiyu's actions. Instead, it strode forward and stood behind Han Li, becoming silent and motionless as if it had never left that spot. Only then did Li Feiyu let out a breath of air. He suddenly let out a laugh as he looked at the blue-robed man on the ground while surreptitiously stealing glances at the calm Han Li. "I say, how can you still be so calm and collected? So the reason was because of the expert behind your back. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You caused me to panic this whole time." Although appearing very relaxed on the surface, Li Feiyu's heart was wildly trembling as he started to guess at the relationship between the green-robed giant and Han Li. Han Li could tell what Li Feiyu was thinking, but he had no intention to explain anything to him. An enigmatic smile broke out on Han Li's visage as he calmly said, "This blue-robed enforcer should know plenty of information. Who among us is going to interrogate him? I feel that you, Division Head Deputy Li, should have more experience in this than me. Shall I leave him to you?" Noting how Han Li dodged the question, he knew that Han Li had no intention of introducing the huge giant to him. As such, he couldn't help but feel worried in his heart. However, regarding the interrogation of the enforcer, he was extremely interested. After he heard Han Li's suggestion, he swiftly accepted the proposition like a boat flowing along with the current. Li Feiyu lifted the blue-robed man, lightly dashed into the forest, and started his interrogation while Han Li leisurely sat down on a nearby grass patch. After a while, Li Feiyu came out of the forest with a gloomy look on his face. "Why are you so fast? Is there any news that we could use?" Han Li didn't stand up, he merely twitched his brows as he asked. "Humph. That craven coward, I haven't even done anything to him, and he already told me everything. As for news, there are two pieces of information. One good and one bad. Which one do you want to hear about first?" Li Feiyu replied in a depressed manner. "Give me the good news first. At least we would be happier after hearing it," Han Li indifferently said. "The good news is that your guess regarding the Feral Wolf Gang's plan was right. The auxiliary forces have no intention of initiating the attack, instead want to surround the valley by taking possession of the other mountain peaks. Meanwhile, their main force is mobilizing towards the setting sun summit to launch an aggressive attack." He said that they have already gained control of many important outposts. Li Feiyu sounded calm as though he did not care about the safety of those with high level of authority. If that was the good news, there's no need to ask. The bad news must be truly terrible. Han Li rubbed his nose as he said this with confidence. "Crowmouth 1, you are spot on. The bad news is that several small sects, such as the Metal Spear Association and the Broken Water Sect, have joined the Feral Wolf Gang's attack against the Celestial Rainbow Mountains. It seems like our 7 Mystery Sect is going to face an imminent catastrophe." Han Li froze in shock after hearing the news. This was outside of his expectations. "We shouldn't care about the number of attackers, it would be best to meet up your young beloved and underlings and leave here under the cover provided by the chaotic battle." Han Li was quite collected as he made a rational suggestion. Li Feiyu quickly indicated his consent, as this plan suited his needs. "And that fellow, how did you handle him?" Han Li suddenly asked. "I killed him." "Are you saying that we should have brought him along?" Li Feiyu coldly replied. After hearing this, Han Li let out a small smile as he put one hand on the ground and sprung up from his sitting position. "Let's go. We should try to avoid any enemies. If we are unable to do so, kill all those who discover us, there is no need to show mercy." Han Li had spoken lightly, but his words contained boundless killing intent and bloodlust. A few li away from God Hand Valley, Elder Li's courtyard was currently swamped with people. There were males and females, all young and old. They appeared to know not the slightest bit of martial arts and were discussing something in low voices with frightened expressions on their faces. Two black-robed figures, equipped with swords and sabers, were nearby the courtyard, guarding vigilantly. Compared to the people inside the courtyard, they were extremely eye-catching. In the living room of one of the residences, two people were in the middle of a discussion. I object to sending people outside. Our defensive position here is not that strong. If I still send people out, wouldn't our position weaken further? No, absolutely not. A middle-aged fatty with a huge potbelly sprayed saliva all over the place as he shook his head rapidly, objecting with determination. But we have no idea what's going on out there. If we don't send people to scout, wouldn't that be akin to blinding ourselves? This is too passive. The person who was arguing against the fatty was none other than Ma Rong, Elder Li's cherished disciple. Passive? So be it. The things that happen out there have nothing to do with me, and to me, safety is most important. This is the best place to be in this situation. Don't tell me you are going to defy my orders? The fatty blinked his small eyes and suddenly took out a golden yellow tablet from his robes, shaking the command medallion in front of Ma Rong as a look of insufferable arrogance appeared on his face. Ma Rong glanced at the fatty before looking at the command medallion. Sighing, he cupped his hands and replied, "The little me does not dare. I shall follow your esteemed orders." One crow mouth, a person who always says pessimistic things.